Welcome to this video. If you click this link, I imagine you want to hear a little about my journey. But first, I should introduce myself. My internet name, and the name I use as a developer, is Skydaddy438. However, my actual name is Dario Rodriguez Gelo. I'm 18 years old, and today, August 27th, 2026, I'm about to start a higher vocational training in web development. My interest in game development began some years ago, but it isn't something I really pursued until a year ago. Before that time, I only managed to create simple popular games like Pong or Flappy Bird. As I said, a year ago I decided to seriously pursue my dream. And thanks to that thought, the game you're seeing right now, Greedy Climber, was born. At first, it was just a way to learn coding and C Sharp, as well as seeing something that my mind thought about come true on my screen. Sadly, I have to admit that I overused AI and tutorials on this game. But not everything is as bad as it seems, since thanks to this, I really learned the basics of C Sharp. As a bit of a story about this game, I remember that the main mechanic of this game, climbing walls, was not something I really wanted to include. It was a glitch that was born when I was trying to implement wall jumping, but I loved it so much and I added it as a feature. Anyways, after developing Greedy Climber, I took a little bit of a rest from Unity and took a beginner's C Sharp course on the web open webinars, since our school provided us with some of those courses freely. There, I learned stuff like lists, dictionaries, how to truly implement classes, etc. If my first game was to learn the basics and the course was to improve my knowledge, Snowball Monkey was where I could finally put everything to the test. AI usage on this game was minimal, as I started to use the philosophy I use today. First, I tried to solve problems by myself. If I can't, I search for a tutorial. If that doesn't work, I try again by myself. And after all this effort, if I still can't figure it out, that's when I ask AI. I ask it to explain to me how it's done and why it's done in X or Y way. When I finally understand it, I implement it in my game. That way, I won't have to ask the AI the same thing over and over, because I understand how it was done. For me, the worst thing in this project was organization. Everything was so messy. But aside from that, I really liked this project. I remember that when I decided I wasn't going to publish it, I took a lot of creative freedom and implemented weapons and upgrades from series or games I was enjoying at that time, and I think it turned out great. Right after finishing this game, I started developing Sancho Sanchez. At first, I was way too ambitious. I wanted to have my own music, sprites, a game length of about a couple hours, an engaging story, and right now the game lasts 7 minutes. So you can imagine how all of that went. Still, I'm really proud of how everything turned out. The sprites are 100% drawn by me, but I must say, it burned me out. The game took way too long to finish due to me not wanting to draw more sprites. Even though I can kinda draw nicely, I don't really like drawing. I like coding. And I was too confident when I said I could do everything alone. Someday, I would like to have someone helping me in that field. Fun fact is that when I was first developing this game, I still thought I was going to be able to have it last a couple hours. So I implemented things like moving platforms, menu for abilities, tried to make three classes, things I would end up never using. Right now, I'm working on a game that I truly love. Before this one, every game I made was from a popular genre, like platformer, Metroidvania, roguelike. But now that I have my knowledge, I want to create something I'm truly passionate on. I feel prepared to dive on a world a bit less known, tactical RPGs. I've been a Fire Emblem fan for quite some time now, and I want to create a game that makes people feel the same way that Fire Emblem made me feel. That's why I started developing this yet unnamed game, and I think I'm doing pretty good for now.